you doing, all beautiful sons of bitches? It's your boy Backseater, and today, Joshy Boy from the Den of Shills is back with another rumor, basically, that he's trying to spin here. And let's just look at what this fucking rumor is. You can already see in the title there. New report details of Star Wars and LucasFilm Civil War. Where the hell have we heard that before? Oh, right. It was from a few years back where they said there was this big civil war between Kathleen Kennedy and the fucking fuck buddy duo of Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. We heard this shit before, and Josh is back with Lucasfilm Civil War 2, Andor Boogaloo. So let's just jump right into the video, shall we?
Shall we get into the Star Wars news here?
Let's not, shall we? 'Cause this is just a fence-riding grift on your part.
Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, this one's kind of spicy. So.
This is spicy. It's got that extra, like, that extra to it. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Because when you add that extra spice to something, you give it that little, like, yeah. Anyway.
Let me try here. Let me attempt to report this in a very clean way. Remove as much of my bias as I possibly can and tell you what's going on and tell you what...
Yeah, no, Josh. I know for a fact you're not going to remove any fucking bias here because you are hopped up on hopium. I can absolutely tell that you are, because in all the videos I've seen of you, you are just on that hopium kick, and you're trying to slang hopium to all your authentic ass fucking channel watchers. Legit. Anyway.
What I've heard, and then I will then get into my opinion on this, right? So why am I even talking about this at all? Well, it has to do with Joanna Robinson, who you should be familiar with if you're a member of this community. Joanna.
I literally have no idea who that is.
Robinson,
okay.
I believe she used to work at Variety, but we know her mostly.
Yeah, Variety. Yeah, that's an absolutely sterling website. It's like the second website that gives us like the most amazingest of internet personalities, right behind CBR. After all, if it wasn't for CBR, I wouldn't have Ant now, would I? No, anyway.
From her incredible book called The Reign of Marvel Studios. It's a great book, has a ton of great sourced information, and Joanna's been ahead.
I thought this was a Star Wars video, Josh. Why are you talking about Marvel here? What the fuck?
Of a lot of things, including the pivot to Doctor Doom after Kang, which we also explored on these streams in our videos.
No one cares.
So Joanna Robinson is a somebody. She absolutely has great sources. I think she's a pretty good writer, too. So she was on a podcast recently, and she had spoke about something she heard with regards to Andor and Dave Filoni. And I believe she frames this in somewhat of a negative way. And I've seen a lot of other people frame this in a negative way as well. But let me just tell you what she said, and I'll tell you what I've heard, and then I'll give you my opinion. So what Joanna said was that she had heard that Dave Filoni was a gatekeeper at Star Wars. And he was actually really...
Hey, come on. Hey, Dave, what the hell? You were a gatekeeper all along? Well, shit, why didn't you join the Gatekeepers Alliance from the beginning? No, but let's be real here. It's like, who the fuck it's like, who the fuck is Dave Filoni to legit give, like, the final, like, thumbs up and thumbs down on Star Wars? Like, legit. It's like, yeah, he's the CCO, but it's like, he's only going to give the green light to fucking shows that align with his bullshit vision of fake Star Wars. His corrupted and twisted version of Star Wars that he just exhumed from his self, his taint, in 2008. But yeah.
As opposed to the...
It's like, who the fuck are you? That was a terrible cover. I apologize, everybody.
...perception you get of him on stage when he's all smiles a bit cutthroat behind the scenes and very protective.
I mean, it's Hollywood, baby. You kind of have to be a little bit cutthroat to like make it ahead in there. Yeah.
Of the Star Wars brand. I think she described him as somewhat of a wall that other projects.
It's like balls to the wall, bum, 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 balls to the wall. There, that was a better cover. Anyway,
had to pass through or around or over. She talks about how, well, you know what, honestly, I don't even know how much she talks about this, but we know from reporting from Harloff that Dave came in and changed.
Yeah, because Christian Harloff is a real stand-up guy, yeah.
Played a bunch. He cut that shit up, changed it all around, and this was an example of him asserting that CCO power, the potentially co-president power that he's about to get. But what Joanna had said, just getting back specifically to what she said, Tony Gilroy was protected from Dave by Kathy.
I'm not sure how much I believe in that bullshit. That just sounds like kind of fucking false. It kind of sounds like she just let him do whatever the hell. So, maybe that could be happening. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of that. I just think it sounds a little on the far-fetched side for my liking here.
She somewhat explicitly explains that Dave did not like what was going on with Andor.
I mean, get in line, Dave. I didn't either.
Like Dave doesn't like a lot of what goes on with other people's Star Wars projects. And although Dave didn't necessarily have all the power during Andor Season 1, he definitely has a lot of power now. And the way Joanna said it was because of Tony Gilroy's close relationship with Kathleen Kennedy, Tony Gilroy...
nepotism. That explains... Okay, now I'm beginning to understand it a bit now. Now I'm beginning to be on Josh's side a little bit. Yeah, nepotism was probably a factor in him getting the job in the first place, yeah.
In all of his creative decisions, which probably is the sexual assault, all of his...
What? What?
Decisions were protected by Kathy against Dave's purview. Okay.
Hey, what the hell, Kathy? I thought the Force was female. You're letting a lady get fucking raped on your shows now? What the hell? Some feminist you turned out to be.
So I want to say a couple other things that are going on here, and then I'll give you my take, okay? So this, to me, corroborates the report from Harloff that Dave came in and cut Acolyte completely apart and changed it. And from what I've heard...
No, that is complete cap right there. That, I know for fact, is a fucking lie. Because we know for fact that Dave Filoni fully supported everything in the Acolyte. He absolutely did. He was totally okay with all of it. Okay, because the Acolyte has a lot of fucking hallmarks of Dave Filoni's Star Wars. Stupid characters, stupid dialogue, retcons, fucking, focusing on witchcraft because his wife is a Satanist, strong female characters because Dave Filoni himself is a male feminist, and yeah, that was a Filoni show. Let's be real. That was a Filoni show.
Heard Acolyte was going to be way darker. It was going to shit on Anakin's legacy way more. It was going to do something.
Why the hell didn't Dave exert more veto power and just say, like, don't do it at all? Just make them like normal girls that these hoes fucking kidnapped. That would honestly be, like, way better. But, no, he didn't. Because he is on board with shitting on real Anakin, okay? Because it's like, the only Anakin he wants, Dave Filoni wants, is his bastardized, watered-down version that he put in TCW, where Anakin was basically fucking Superman, right? Where he can do no wrong, not do no wrong, but he's far more nobler, far more level-headed, etc. That ain't Anakin. Not at fucking all. Like Big Brother to Ahsoka, no. It's like Dave made the Acolyte with the express purpose to fuck over real Anakin, because he just hates George Lucas. Let's be real here. But anyway.
Some wild shit. We already don't like Acolyte. It was already goobly glob. It was already
Just because you didn't like the Acolyte doesn't mean you're gonna earn points from me, Joshy boy.
kind of, stepping on the line of canon a little bit. From what I understand, it was going to be way fucking worse. And Dave came in and cut that thing completely apart. And
if what we got was the cut apart version, then it couldn't have been all that much better. It's like, and yeah, Josh, it's like, what was the supposedly fucking original version for Dave Filoni supposedly hacked it to pieces? What was it? Because I don't believe a word you're saying. What was the original?
made it different. He did not want Andor to be the way that it was. This is important to remember. Okay.
Okay, well then why didn't he shut it down?
This
Why didn't he exert more veto power over the show then? Why didn't he? Did he at all? Because so far all you're saying is that, oh, he hated it, but it's like, okay, well, hating something doesn't mean that he's really doing anything about it. You're sounding like he's trying to do something about it, but what you're saying, sort of, is that he hasn't done anything. Which one is it?
This brings a couple of things to mind to me. Number one, do you guys remember the comments that Gilroy made over the past couple of weeks about how journalists and fans were trying to drive a wedge between Filoni, Kathy, and Gilroy? Do you remember those comments?
Yeah, it was people like, yeah, it was fucking you, Theory, and Doomcock saying them a few years back, yeah.
I think within the context of this new reporting, those are pretty interesting because he knew exactly what he was doing when he said that. This makes me think of comments from Dave from 2 years ago. We're on stage at Star Wars Celebration. He offhandedly said, sometimes I ask Kathy, why do you greenlight the Star Wars projects that you greenlight? It was a super offhanded comment that not a lot of people picked up on, but I was like, whoa, what's that mean?
Yeah, he was like, whoa, like Keanu Reeves in The Matrix, boys.
This makes me think of recent comments from the past few weeks of Dave in Tokyo talking about how the legacy of George Lucas was so important to him. He damn near came.
That's a fucking lie, because if he was, he would not have retconned the prequels to the extent he did, would not have retconned the expanded universe, would not have written the Clone Wars the way he did, and absolutely would not have thrown it all in the trash so he could build a Disney shit can around the EU. That's a fucking lie right there.
Came to tears talking about how it was important for him to fight for the legacy of what George said Star Wars was.
That's a lie.
Okay. Now, that takes us all then to the reporting that I had several weeks ago about the creative overhaul and the civil war behind the scenes at Lucasfilm. Now,
here we go,
a lot of you know because you either watched the video or you've heard me talk about it on stream. But for those that don't, and for the sake of this piece of block here, of the segment actually being cohesive, let's go over it. So, man, it must have been about a month ago now. I got hit up from an old source, but an incredible source. A person that I haven't heard from in a long time. And this person hit me
on with it!
up with, a metric ton of information about things that were going on with Lucasfilm. One of those things, by the way, was that the next big animated show for Star Wars would be centered around Darth Maul. I had that shit weeks before it was announced at Star Wars Celebration.
Oh, that's going to be absolute ass.
Because this source is real. And the information this source gave me is real. And I'm not going to go into everything because there's a lot of spoilery stuff that I talked about.
It's like, translation. I didn't come up with it at all. It's like, all right, let me ask you, Joshy boy, is your fucking contact the Sparrow by any chance? Sparrow! Oh my god, oh my god. Cameron Pasha, what the fuck happened to that guy? Oh my god. Sometimes you have to laugh to fucking, like, take your mind off the boredom. Anyway.
With regards to Ahsoka Season 2. But towards the end of that video, one of the things I mentioned, because I asked my source about, what's going on with Kathy, right? I mean, obviously, she's on the way out, but maybe she's not. I'll die making movies, she says in the chat.
I got you on 1.5, and you're still taking forever.
It's the day the Nerd Theory reunion goes on, right? So it's been a little while, and I was like, what's the deal here, man? What's going on with Kathy? So it was described to me that there's...
Is the Ozempic from Joshy Boy just transferring on to me? Because that's what it feels like. I am legit falling the fuck asleep, ready to go take... Why do I have these clothes on my bed? What the hell? Ready to go take a fucking nap right now. It's like, hurry the fuck up, Joshy boy. I ain't got all day.
A the way that they phrased it was, there are people within Lucasfilm that want a complete overhaul of how Lucasfilm is greenlighting projects and making Star Wars. Basically, there was a camp there that does not want to do all these Rey movies, that does not want to do Andor, that does not want to do, frankly, stuff like Acolyte, and wants to literally overhaul completely how Star Wars makes its content. And it was described to me that a lot of the stuff we've been hearing in the press about Kathy was Kathy using mouthpieces to consolidate power and control because there was this struggle going on. And I think now with these...
No, there wasn't. There was no struggle. There was no civil war. It was all fabricated by Doomcock and Cameron Pasha. That's it. We know this story by now, man.
Comments here. I think it's pretty obvious that this conflict is Dave Filoni on one side wanting to revamp Star Wars so that it lines up more closely with what George would have done, and Kathleen...
No, what Dave has done is absolutely not what George Lucas would have done. I can state that with 100% confidence.
Kennedy, who wants to do two things. Number one, she wants to protect her own legacy by not making it seem like they're not...
Well, her legacy is ashes anyway, no matter if it's protected, so I don't know why the hell she cares.
I'm just going to go away from everything that she did. But also, obviously, Kathy has stood up for different visions and different things within Star Wars, right? By the way, do you...
Yeah, sure. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Remember that Leslie Headland did an interview where she said that when she pitched Star Wars, almost everybody in the room didn't like her pitch except for Kathleen Kennedy. Like, these are the kind of things that I'm talking about. When you really pay attention here and you're really listening to what is being...
that really should have been the writing on the wall that making the Acolyte was a bad idea, but hey, what the fuck do I know?
Said a pattern emerges, and it really does seem like on one side you have Kathy, who doesn't understand Star Wars and frankly treats it more like a corporate-owned IP that needs to branch out, diversify, become more accessible to the marketplace, all of these different concepts.
Translation, ruin it.
And then you have a guy like Dave, who's a Pittsburgh boy that moved to California, didn't know a lick about how that town went down. And
no, he's not. Dave Filoni is not some blue-collar underdog who's trying to make his way up in the world and fight for what's right. No, that is complete horse shit right there. Absolutely not, no.
Was hired by George Lucas himself.
No, he wasn't. He was hired by Catherine Winder. We know this.
Fostered as the next version of the creator.
No, he wasn't. He was hired on to just be the fucking overall project lead, pretty much. That was it. George Lucas had no hand in the hiring, no hand in, like, really anything with the show beyond just throwing money at it. That's really it.
And, look, man, that's what's going on.
No.
And you might like Andor. In fact, you might not like Dave Filoni, and I think that especially...
I hate all of it, Josh. I hate all Disney Star Wars, and I hate all their shills like yourself.
Online, there does seem to be that kind of attitude, and I think there's a lot of people that don't love perhaps the more for a child, mythic adventure. I want to say... not sophisticated.
Well, Star Wars isn't for kids to begin with, so I don't know what the hell you're on about. Oh my god, I'm skipping this shit. I want to go to bed.
But it's just in the fandom, especially over the past couple of years, of people that feel that Star Wars needs to branch out, reinvent itself.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And people who think it does are fucking morons like Drinker. Oh my god, and Mauler too, yeah, the whole EFAP crew, to be frank, except for Ryan. Ryan is the only based one left within the Fandom Menace. I wish he left, and just, yeah, Ryan, if you're watching this, just leave the Fandom Menace. They're irrelevant, they're not worth your time, they're not worthy of you, and, yeah.
Do more stuff like Andor, and then there are people, the mythic, but it is not, at that point, Star Wars. Okay.
And, well, it's all fake Star Wars, Josh.
We could argue to the cows
Everything Disney makes is fake Star Wars.
come home on how you feel about that, the different redeeming qualities of both types of stories.
There is no redeeming in Disney Star Wars, no.
It's bared any real fruit. Andor cannot justify its own budget. due to its viewership.
Yeah, no shit. That's why they shouldn't have made it to begin with.
For Andor season 2, because I think that the show's release schedule was like designed to make it chart. I mean, you have 12 episodes dropping in a 1 month period.
Ooh, wow. Yeah, that shows that Disney wanted to get this in their rear view ASAP, like I keep saying.
This egg on your face embarrassment for Disney. I actually think that it will chart. But I think when you really look at the data,
no, it won't. If there is a god left on this planet, it will not. No.
Time during its entire run, and it was at 36,000 tweets. Like,
don't care.
Hit Ahsoka numbers on Disney Plus cents. Comparatively, Ahsoka was a smash fucking hit.
No, that is wrong. Like, didn't it have like the lowest viewership numbers out of all the season finales? Fucking pathetic.
Damn near.
Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I remember Ahsoka charting the lowest in some category out of all the Disney, the Communist Plus Star Wars shows. Someone remind me of that while I take my nap later.
$700 million into a more sophisticated version of Star Wars that it actually justifies its own expenditure for creative energy. I think that
I don't care, Josh. It's like you might as well just rename my channel Den of NyQuil while you're at it. Yeah.
Of what the wider audience is thinking and doing. But I think that
I'm so tired. I feel like I swear to God I didn't take any NyQuil before this, but I legit feel like I'm just ready to fucking crash the fuck out.
A couple of weeks ago, a 20-year-old George Lucas movie came out. And it made headlines. It broke records. It caused content creators to take.
It was a Disney charity case. All that money went to Disney for them to make garbage like Acolyte Season 2, Ahsoka Season 2, Starfighter, Sean Levy, the James Mangold movie, all that shit.
Andor is floundering when you actually just look at the numbers. And sure, there's a social media imprint there.
Thank fuck it is then. If you can even be believed, Joshy boy.
Of Dave Filoni. You don't have to agree, but that's the take. And
your take sucks.
Dave was like, I don't know about rape. Catherine's, I love it. You know what?
Kathleen Kennedy loves rape, folks. You heard it here from the Den of Shills.
Serious, and you liked that. You're going to ignore that its conception was very likely a mistake. And the best
all of Disney Star Wars is one giant fucking blunder, Josh.
Next times what Kenobi...
Disney Star Wars isn't just a mistake. It's a blunder. You can quote me on that. Backseater, Anno Domini 2025.
Was a mistake. And I would argue that even those among you that currently love Andor and that are like going to bat for it, or you want to defend it, or you want to say like, you know, Gilroy.
Yeah, the Gilroy goobers.
Having a restaurant that made incredible sushi and deciding one day you wanted to do Belgian waffles.
What the fuck is he talking about now? What the hell?
It's called brand dilution. It is a mistake, objectively. So I'm trying to be super fair here because I know there are so many of you that love Andor, and I'm not here to yuck your yum, man. I mean, it's
Oh my god, did he go to the same? Is he from the same place John Campea is from? It's like, who seriously says yuck in your yum? Like, honest to God.
I don't think this is working. And I think beyond...
Speaking of working, Josh, how's your comic book coming along?
Fighting hard. He's fighting hard. He's being a real hard ass about this. And he's being a hard ass because he strongly feels Star Wars should align with how George saw it when he first created it.
No, Dave Filoni wants Star Wars to align with how... I hate to sound like a broken record when I say this, but it's true. Dave Filoni wants Star Wars to be his baby, his creation. He wants to be the fucking guy known for reinventing it, or, you know, like truly making it what it is at the very least. Same way Chris Claremont is in regards to the X-Men. No, Dave Filoni wants it all, and he don't want some motherfucker like Tony Gilroy, who, for better or worse, I'd say worse, but is getting praise for doing something right, while Dave is just being absolutely languished for making something horrible, or a lot of horrible shit, so yeah.
He is the CCO. He will be co-president. The question now becomes,
I'm pretty sure he's not co-president. And last time I checked, there was no co-president position, but I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, again, someone let me know in the comments.
How? We're going to find out. This story gives me personally so much hope.
And there's that hopium slanging right there. It's like he's too hopped up on hopium to really give much of a damn. He's blinded by shit. He's sucking Filoni's cock like the Filoni faithful he is. And there's nothing more I can really say about Joshy Boy at this point anymore. So yeah, so if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment below if you thought of it, subscribe for more videos like this, and I'm gonna go take a nap. Take care!